Good afternoon, it's Sarah here. I was just thinking about why in heaven's name have I started a YouTube channel and what makes me different from other people? Well, not that different than many because I love watercolors, but there's so many people who do as well. One of the things that may set me apart a little bit is my obsession with color. However, most of us are. So really, I don't know, but I like to glaze colors. And I was thinking about what would I do if I was starting over. Can't talk today. I was just outside digging around in the dirt, planting daffodil bulbs, hoping that they grow next spring. Anyway, so I was thinking about what would I do if I had to start over and I didn't have any watercolors. I think the biggest, best thing you could do for yourself is to buy 3 tubes of primary colors. Golden sent me these colors in a little box for free. This is Quinacridone Magenta, PR 122. And Ultramarine Blue, PB29, and Nickel Azo Yellow, PY150. Now, I don't know why they gave this stuff to me other than, I went on their website and I entered for free samples. I looked all over today in Canada on various sites and I cannot find a 3-color set by core. So right now, I think that your only option for a small set, well, they have a couple small sets, but is usually a 6-color set in a container like this. And here's the 6 colors right here. So I'm going to swatch these for you, but first, I'm going to show you the 3-color set. And, it might be expensive just to buy these 3 colors, but they are the most beautiful colors. And this is probably my very favorite color in the world right here. Now, golden is a little bit different. They have a binder that they kind of created. It seems a little less traditional. It's called Azle. And most other watercolors use gum arabic and maybe honey. So they are unique that way. One of the things that happens when they use this binder is that their watercolor paints travel really fast in wet washes. So here, I just did some random art with those 3 colors that I love here in this little tiny set. And this is what happens when you touch a wet wash with the color. It just kind of spreads out like a spider and it happens fast. It's really cool. So if I was going to pick 3 colors, I would pick these and I'll show you why. So here, I just have some arches, probably. Anyway, 100% cotton paper, which I think is pretty important. So what I'm going to do is just kind of wet these 3 places on my wheel that are the 3 colors from a little tiny set that Golden just gifted me with. And this is the Quinacridone Magenta. You could see that the color travels around in that wet paint really quite amazingly. And hopefully you can see why I think this is the best color in the world almost. It is one of the brightest key reds available. So we would call this a cool red because it leans a little more toward blue rather than orange or yellow. All right, so now the Ultramarine Blue is a little bit more of a warm blue, and it tends to granulate, so it behaves a little differently than a lot of colors. But, you know, some people like that about ultramarine because it provides texture without any real effort on your part. You just lay the paint down in some wet water and leave it alone. And when you've done that, it will settle and create some texture. Okay, so it's a really pretty color. I'm going to use a different brush to pick up some of the Nickel Azo Yellow. And the reason is we don't want to contaminate the yellow. I want you to see it just the way it is. Now, when you look at this pile of paint, it looks pretty brown. But you can see what an awesome, crazy, glowing color that is. Oh my. Brilliant. It makes such wonderful mixes. So, the reason that this set of 3 is awesome is because you can really create some wonderful, glowy colors by mixing these 3. And that's the objective is, you know, if you want to start out, you probably just need a few colors. And you need to learn to mix your colors and enjoy them. But if you get too many colors, it's really hard to learn color mixing because you just get caught up in using all these different colors. And I think the very best way to start is to play with 3 colors first, and then maybe 6. And then you can add some special colors in as you go. So I am going to now take some Nickel Azo Yellow, put it over here, and mix it with some Quinacridone Magenta. And so you can see the kind of orangey color that we can mix with those 2. So here we've got an interesting orangey color. Isn't that pretty? Now we're going to take some of that yellow and mix it with some of that ultramarine. Look at that pretty green. So because ultramarine is, well, a little bit of a red-blue, you get a more neutralized green. And so some people like this color or these colors or this color range of green because it's a little more natural. Sometimes when we mix other colors that are really, really bright, we get really unrealistic colors. Now you can see this is very yellow, but you can add more blue. Just going to pick some up from another place. And let's mix that just right on the paper. there. Now you can see there's texture in that green. It's very textured. And some people don't like texture, and that's why they would pick a different blue rather than ultramarine, because ultramarine is granulating and it does create that texture in mixes as well as by itself. So I think it's really, really pretty. And, you know, I think that these 3 colors are excellent to try together. Now, the next best thing is to mix these 2 and get a purple. So let's see what we can do with that. I'm going to just drop some clean water in there. Look at that purple. Isn't that just gorgeous? So it's nice to sometimes mix your colors directly on the paper, but I like to glaze, and that means I layer the colors. And so for layering colors on the paper, what I do is I use transparent colors, usually non-granulating, but that really depends, because usually granulating colors lift easier, and you don't want something lifting if you're going to try to glaze another color over top. But I just think, look at that. There's hardly anything in the world more pretty than some of these colors. Like, these are just awesome. So there you have it. That's the 3-color primary set that Core or Golden sent to me to try. Now, do you want to go see the introductory set? Well, it came in this little box, and I use this little box to store other things. So, you know, it's full of other little pans. But look at this. You can use the lid as a little mixing palette. So that's a kind of handy little tin box. And here are all the colors. So this set doesn't have the Quinacridone Magenta, which is, to me, an essential color, so it's a little bit sad that way. But there's a deep, you know, cool red here, which is Alizarin Crimson. Look at how rich that is. How do you like my escargot bowl? I find any white ceramic is excellent for use as a palette, and I just love white ceramic, and it could hardly be cheaper if you buy it at a thrift store, which is what I do. So I get a kick out of that. Now this lemon yellow, admittedly, is very cool, very light. I hope I didn't get some other color in there, so it's really hard not to contaminate yellow. And then, so the other thing about this set that's a little odd is that they put burnt sienna in, but burnt sienna is a very useful color. But it's just an earth color, so it's not primarily a mixing color. And then here we have the lovely Ultramarine Blue. And then another of my very favorite colors in the whole wide world. This is Phthalo Blue green shade. So It is such a wonderful color. All right, why don't we, now that we've mixed the tube paint in with some water, why don't we put them on some paper? Here are the little tiny tubes. You can see that they've been well used. And it was a few years back that I picked up those colors. So I did check for current pricing. And oops, they're about $47 Canadian where I found them. So again, 6 colors is still a pretty good starting set, and you'll learn a lot about color mixing by having 6 colors. All right, so I'm going to try for a clean brush to put the yellow down, because yellow is so easily contaminated. And I'm rummaging around in my brush drawer. Well, I guess I'll use this. All right, let's see what happens. Look at that, it's running around in the water. Look at it streaking down the page. My budgies have something to say about that, I guess. I don't know what they're discussing. And isn't that pretty? Okay, now the next color is Pyro Red Light. PR254. And I don't know if I said this is PY3. The only thing I don't particularly love about this set is that a number of these colors are not terribly light fast. So this color, the Pyro Red Light is, but the Hansa Yellow Light is not as light fast as it could be, nor is the permanent Alizarin Crimson. The budgies are just going crazy over there. All right, here's the permanent Alizarin Crimson. Look at that. So this is the color that's not terribly light fast. But it's a beautiful, rich color. Let's pick up a little bit more. What do you think? They're really, really bright colors. Oops, look at that. Pretty hard to rinse out of your brush too. Let's see what I got happening here. There. Okay, let's pick up some of that ultramarine and give that a go. Oops. I got a bit much water here. I'm just going to pick up a little bit more of the ultramarine blue. Okay, we'll see what happens when that dries. But yeah, isn't that pretty bright and gorgeous? Oops. Touched the color a little bit and you can see how fast it moves. It really travels. I'm just going to pick that up and try to just put the phthalo blue on here. Watch that go away. This color is a good one for glazing because it is so transparent, but it's also really bright. So some people are scared of phthalos because they're strong, but I think they're beautiful and used in the right concentration. They're just the best thing ever. The prettiest blue, green, you know. And they make brilliant mixes. Okay, I'm going to give you a look at this burnt sienna. I didn't really know where to put it on the color wheel because it's an earth color. It's a natural pigment from the ground, PBR 7. At least Core says it is natural and not manufactured. So my 6 colors, I didn't divide my colors up very evenly in my spaces, but aren't they beautiful? Okay, so do you want to see what happens when you mix a little bit of the yellow? A little bit of the green, the phthalo blue green shade. Look at that. Brilliant blue, green. It looks pretty much like PG7, which is a single pigment color that you can buy. But it is gorgeous. Then if you want to add a little more green, a little more yellow, look at that pretty color. So these colors mix together, the blue, which is a green leaning color, and then this lemon yellow make the most brilliant greens, as opposed to the greens that you get when you mix with ultramarine. All right, so there you have it. I think what I would do is probably buy these 3 colors if I was starting out, and just use these 3 colors for a while. You can mix a blackish color from your ultramarine and an orangey shade. You can buy another burnt sienna tube if you want to, because when you mix burnt sienna and ultramarine, you get a really nice dark color. But yeah, black isn't necessary, and certainly not white. Should not use white, and I really don't like it when companies put, you know, neutral tint or black in their sets. You just need really optimally 6 colors if you are really pushing it for a warm and a cool of each primary, and that would be plenty. So anyway, those are some ideas. I looked, this setup was $47.56 on Amazon.ca today. So if you want a nice introductory set, that's a good one. Another one that I'll show you on another video is this little set of Daniel Smith colors. And it is a true mixing set because it has a warm and a cool of each primary color. And just to give you a sneak peek. I don't know which way is the right way. There. Daniel Smith Essentials set. $42.99 on Desserres.ca today in Canada. And in the middle here, I've mixed the primaries with each other, the complementary colors with each other across the wheel. And so you can get some really pretty grays here. You can get some more brown leaning grays, some more blacky, some more reddish. You can get all sorts of colors by mixing the complementary colors that are, and then they neutralize each other. And that's why you don't need black. All right. Have a good day. And we'll talk about color again sometime because it's such a fun subject. Take care.